All right, for a look at all the other headlines today, I'm joined now by media writer for The Australian, Sophie Ellsworth, and the Deputy Executive Director of the IPA, Daniel Wild. Well, thank you for your time. We're wrapping up a pretty hectic week in Canberra. Let's start, though, with question time. The focus today, of course, those official ABS migration data numbers out. Labor's Big Australia push continues on unabated. Record highs, Daniel. I know the IPA has been crunching the numbers. What have you found?
Well, that's right, Peter. It's record highs, 550,000 net intake over the 12 months to September last year. That is 60% higher than the previous record over a 12-month period to September. And what is clear is that the government is not in control of its migration program, and this is causing immense economic and humanitarian damage to our nation. As you rightly identified at the opening, Peter, we've had 4 consecutive quarters of negative per capita economic growth. The last time that happened was in the early 1980s, in the middle of a global economic recession. So as we all know, migration makes the economic pie bigger, but the slice of the pie that everybody in this country is getting is now smaller. The other point that I'd make, Peter, is the government is being highly misleading with the Australian people when it comes to the migration numbers. When you look at the budget figures, what we now know is that last year and this financial year, we are now on track for a surplus of 350,000 migrants compared to the projections in the budget. And we'll see what the government does in May at the next budget. But what is clear is that the government's policy is fundamentally out of step with the expectations of the community.
I think Australians are starting to wake up to the distinction. Australia is not in a recession, but Australians are. That's the difference. And that's why, we're all feeling it tough, feel like we're doing it tough. Everything feels squeezed and you just feel like you're working harder and harder and not getting ahead. Talk to me about the RBA. This might sound like an inside the beltway issue, Soph, but it's a hugely important one given how much the RBA influences mortgages, and obviously that's a big slice of people's incomes. Labor's setting out to, quote, reform the RBA. Now, there's a lot of experts who say this wasn't needed. We've got people like Peta Credlin who says creating this new policy committee to set the rates, to be focused on rates, he reckons that's a worry. 2 former governors of the RBA, Bernie Fraser, Labor appointee, Ian Macfarlane, I think he was a Liberal appointee in the very beginning. Both of them are concerned. Macfarlane even says it's a complete waste of everyone's time. It looks like, too, that the Libs with Angus Taylor may not support this.
Well, Peter, this is a concern and all Australians should be concerned about this. Very interesting comments, particularly from Ian Macfarlane. He was the RBA boss for many years, and I think people should take note of this when he says it is a complete waste of time. But look, the cash rate at the moment, Peter, as you know, is 4.35%. We've had 13 consecutive rate rises. And Australians are very eager to see these rates come down because people are hurting with their mortgage rates at pretty high rates compared to during the COVID pandemic. So I'm pretty concerned by these comments by these heavy hitters saying that this is a waste of time. And will it actually change anything, Peter? Because we've seen a lot of changes this year already with the RBA, with the press conferences they hold, and also the reduction in the number of cash rate decisions each year, down from 11 decisions to 8. So there's a lot going on, and this is just another layer of change which many are questioning whether or not it's worthy.
And I will add too, a lot of the criticism is that they're concerned that Labor will use this to stack the RBA with their mates, and that's another worry as well.